So I play tin whistles and I use a shruti box. In this video, I'm going to explain my shruti box approach for when I'm playing with tin whistles. I think this is going to be kind of a longer video. At first, I thought I'd break this down into like part one, part two, but nobody ever sticks around for part two, right? So like I'm just going to brain dump everything that I've got so far that I've worked out in my little system. This is the system. Whatever tune I'm playing, I just use the shruti box to blast the tonic of whatever key that tune happens to be in. If I'm playing in D major, I just blast a D. If I'm playing in G major, I'm just blasting a G. E minor gets an E. E major gets an E. A minor, A. A mixolydian, A. A major, A. A Dorian. Now, I have experimented with using different tones than the tonic with like mixed results. Some of them sound kind of cool, some of them sound kind of spicy. The problem always is, though, at the resolution. When the tune comes to an end, if you're playing a D and resolving on a D, but the box is playing a G or an A, it can sound a little like weird. Sometimes I'll add the fifth or the octave over that tonic note just for a little extra texture, but so far the most successful experiments have just been just blast that tonic note the entire time while you're playing. Use it like a drone on a bagpipe. Now, a big part of the reason why penny whistles are so fun is you can get them in all sorts of different sizes. And the different sizing pitches the whole whistle in kind of different modes and different keys. And that's why I think shruti box is such an interesting thing to combine with all of the whistles, because using the differently pitched whistles, you can transpose your tunes into any key that you want. And so you can move all over the tonality of the box by just swapping around with different whistles. By convention, the whistles are named after whatever note comes out when you cover all 6 holes. Any given penny whistle can play in 14 different modes. What those modes are is going to be different on each whistle depending on how it's pitched. However, just like by convention, it's basically a musical meme. If you're playing instrumental music, just instrumental music, no singer, in that Celtic repertoire, all of the stuff is limited just to 8 different modes. It just makes life easier for the instrumentalists. Every whistle has a different set of modes that are accessible to it, but this whistle, this is called a D whistle, this has all 8 of those Celtic modes accessible on the one instrument. Because the D whistles have access to all 8 of the Celtic keys, if you go to a jam session, you can just play on this thing all night, no problem. And because this has access to the 8 like principal keys, these D whistles are considered like the standard go-to default whatever baseline kind of penny whistle. So if you're going to a jam session, you can rock out the whole night on just this one penny whistle. But if you're like me and have no friends, you can play around with moving to different whistles to transpose your tune around to play in any key you want, because your friend shruti box knows all the keys. Let me do an example so you can see how this works in actual practice. So Lanigan's Ball is a jig that by convention is just always played in E minor. So I learned it in E minor, and I played on a D penny whistle. Now, if I were to play the exact same tune in the exact same way, my fingers doing all the exact same work, but do that instead on this super precious little cute F penny whistle, F is 3 semitones higher than D, meaning every single note on here has been raised 3 semitones. So through that same transitive property that you learned in 3rd grade, that E minor tune, up 3 semitones, if I play it on this F penny whistle, it will now be in G minor. so I can switch the shruti box to drone a G instead and get my tonic. But yeah, that's my method so far. So, if you watch this video, it means that you're a music nerd who wants to do some music research. So drop me some comments of like questions or ideas or things that you want to hear me try. Yeah, that's it.